I got new corals. Let's get into it. Hey you everyone, welcome back to another video by Serif. Before I talk about my corals, I just want to give a quick update on the Cyano bacterial battle. I'm still in the middle of the Cyano fight with not much changes. I'm not too sure if I'm delusional, but the Cyano is getting slightly better. In the sense that it looks like it's dying back. It's maybe like 20% better, in the sense that I don't have to clear it as often. I'm not too sure whether it's just because I have been looking at it for about 2 months and it's starting to get on my nerves. But it's just been the past few days, it just looks like it is not as rampant as usual. Alright, now to my new corals. So as you can see, I got a new toxic green Frogspawn coral, and I also got my hands on an orange Frogspawn. I've been wanting to add a new Frogspawn or a couple of them to the bottom of the tank to have a contrast with my yellow hammer and my indigo torch. And the pairing of green and orange and yellow goes really well together. It might also be that I don't have many Frogspawns in the tank, and I thought maybe a couple of Euphyllias that look a bit different might be a good addition to the tank. Comparing all the different corals in the Euphyllia family, in terms of shape, I have to give it to the Frogspawn as compared to the other Euphyllias. Their tentacles just look very complex and interesting. I don't know why, but Frogspawns do not come in as many colors and variation as torches. I mean, personally, if Frogspawn came in as varied colors as torches, I do believe I will be very happy just to keep a tank of Frogspawn only without any torches. However, I never really tried that, so I might be wrong. Maybe a whole tank filled of Frogspawn may not look as nice as I imagined. But anywho, I digress. So, coming back to the corals, I managed to get a toxic green Frogspawn for real cheap, and it also comes with 2 heads, which is a great thing because it fills up the tank faster, which I can't complain. And sometimes if one head just dies off, at least I'm able to frag out the other head to have a chance of keeping that species alive. My orange Frogspawn, however, is a single head, and that's also because it's not the cheapest. Alright, now time to get it out of the bag and to dip it. I realize I've not talked much about my dipping process, but I just mainly dip it in Coral RX because it has worked countless of times in the past for me for all my corals, and I honestly haven't tried any other dips. I do believe that there are other dips that work really well, but I just am not the best person to know about it because I haven't tried any of them. So usually what I do is I put the corals into a container and I look at how much water there is. I add the Coral RX, I give it a good swirl with my mini pipette, and I leave it there just for the allocated time, and I give it a good rinse in tank water after the allocated time. And then it goes straight into the tank. Nothing special or different. I do take a look at the water whether there's any pests before I do move them into the tank. When putting the corals in the tank, I usually try my best to plan their size when they are open and try to place them in a space where they will have sufficient room to grow and to expand out. As you can see in this video, I can't really decide which position to place the corals and I just kept readjusting. I mean, you can always move them after you have placed them. It's not like a fix in stone unless you glue it to the rock or epoxy the corals to the rock. However, I try not to put my hands in the tank, so generally speaking, I try to get it right the first time. Another key factor for me of placing these corals is whether they get sufficient light. At this stage, most of my hammers are in the same area are getting sufficient lighting, so I'll just leave it as that and I'll just observe them over time. It's been a couple of hours since I've placed my corals into the tank, and you can just see the colors really coming out and how fluffy they are starting to look. I may be biased, but I do feel that the coloration really complements the other corals in the area. They are not fully open yet, but you can start to see the colorations on them. What I've noticed for many of the LPS and Euphyllias that I put into my tank, they usually don't color as well when I first put them in, but it takes maybe about a week or 2 for them to really show the colors that are vibrant and complements the other corals. So hopefully they grow used to the space in terms of the water flow, the lighting and all the other Euphyllia in the area. I don't think I have much space left for any more corals in this area. But I have surprised myself in the amount of squeezing I can do in just this small area in my tank. Other than the new corals I've added, in general the tank has been doing great. And I feel like most of the corals that have been in the tank for long enough, they have been starting to settle down and to stabilize. I'm slowly getting into a groove of maintenance and testing on my tank, and that has made it much easier for me to manage the tank. I'm starting to get a good pulse on the nutrients level and all the other parameters in the tank. I've also seen that the corals look happier after increasing the lighting slightly, so I'm hoping that over time it will help to bring out even more colors in my coral. As always, I will continue to keep you guys updated on the status of the tank next week. And with that, I think I will end my video right here. Thank you for watching, stay safe, love your tank, till next time, see ya!